And going into that, Joel, the big news this week is that Bob Iger, friend of the show, gets to hang around for 3 more years. So his contract or temporary contract when he took over last November was until November 2024. That was extended until November 2026, right? If I'm not
Right.
wrong.
2026. Yep.
Okay. Here's my next big shrimp bomb prediction, Joe.
He's putting shrimp on the line for this, guys.
You know what? What can I put in the line on the line,
You something you believe so strong about.
dude? I will eat pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza. That's a good one.
Yep, yeah, yeah. I'll do
Okay,
that.
pineapple on pizza.
I'll do
I'm
that.
putting the,
he's,
you know
he's
I'm documenting this. You know I'm
he's. I
documenting
know.
this.
I know you are. I know you are. I would eat. I would eat pineapple on pizza, which I also. I know a lot of people love it, and that's fine.
I actually do like it.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
just don't.
yeah,
It
yeah. That's
just
your
the
thing.
tomato and sweet like really doesn't really mix for me. So, um, yeah, dude. There's gonna be an announcement later this year, or beginning of next year, like within the next 6 to 8 months, that they are going to sell. They're gonna sell. They're gonna sell to Apple.
That Disney's gonna be
Like this
sold.
is gonna be selling to Apple. I got two things, right? That's option A.
Okay.
Option B is that they're gonna be selling everything and leaning it up back to the Eisner era, where it was parks, ABC, and movies, and then because then after that they acquired ESPN. I think ESPN's on the table. I think ESPN's gonna get rolled. I think Freeform's gonna get rolled. Um, and I think they're just gonna keep the Disney Channel, Disney Junior, because I know Disney Junior makes money, and ABC, and that's gonna be it. And then they're gonna have parks and the studios, right? On the studio side, again, I still stand by the prediction that Pixar is gonna get rolled into um, the Walt Disney Animation, and we're gonna see major stuff happen with Lucasfilm and Marvel. And we'll like there's news about that too, but we'll go over that in a second. But at least Marvel, not necessarily big changes at the top, but the Lucasfilm stuff, it's happening, dude. Like that's a sooner rather than later. And I know like there's like masked figures out there saying that they have sources and whatnot. And I called it on the show. Chapek's leaving before KK does, and
Yep.
that was the case, right? Um, this is gonna be uh, played very politically, and and she's gonna be there until the end of the fiscal year, October.
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
Remember I said this.
she's gonna be there until October,
You do
and
not want to
then
poke that bear.
October when end of fiscal year, we're gonna get the shake up.
Yep.
That's my prediction on that, and I bet pineapple on pizza on that one. So yeah, it's they're selling like they may lean it up and still sell it to Apple, dude. They could be both. It could be a combination of both, right? They could sell the whole thing to Apple. They could lean it up and sell to
Sure.
Apple. I'd say Apple would want a sports property, so they could potentially keep ESPN. But it's like there's no reason for them to have Freeform, right? And you know, I don't know, man. I and Bob's gonna be there to transition basically the company into Apple and roll it in for the first couple of years. So we're talking about fiscal year 2024. So probably the end of towards the end of next year, next October, November. That's when it's gonna happen, right? but we're gonna start hearing about it either the end of this year or beginning of next year. So
Wow.
that's my prediction.
Wow.
It's crazy, end of an era kind of thing, right? But at this point, right, it's unsustainable, right? You gatekeep you shun people that love your parks away from your parks because of complexity of like how do I schedule my day, nickel and diming and pricing and all this stuff, right? The pricing
The
at the
last two,
resorts,
3 years.
pricing at the resorts, which is like ridiculous, dude. It's like, how is it possible that the Hilton next to Disney Springs is less money than the All Stars, and you still get free transportation to the parks and an actual like hotel room?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nuts, dude. It's nuts. I mean, theming. I mean, it's not even that well themed. It's insane. I don't know why. You know, fine. You can keep up with inflation, but you're like 300% over inflation, dude. And I don't know. It's again very concerning, and we love Disney, and we've said it before. Like we're critical of them because we like them, right? And I'm able to criticize someone or in something that I love. Like we talked about Lucasfilm a ton, and we talked about how petty PlayStation could be, and it doesn't we're saying this because we care, right? And especially like Disney being an institution, it's like whatever rumors, whatever thing, political BS is out there, right? Which we know it's not true. Like we're there. We have our ear on the ground. We've been there.
Yeah. A
It's
lot
not
was
true.
blown out of
It's
proportion.
not
Just
true.
crazy
None
stuff.
of it is true. Like everything, it's all political, right? And we care, man, and I want to see them succeed. But you gotta start by I mean, like Mission Impossible, right? It's a great example, right? It's like how do you maintain consistency throughout this many years, and that's something that they're missing, and that's something that they need. So one thing though, Joe, is that Apple does Apple own Skydance?
I
Did they
don't think
buy them?
so.
Let's see.
I don't remember hearing. I mean, if they did, I don't remember hearing about it.
Skydance Animation, Skydance Media. Gonna look it up in Wikipedia. Let's see.
Fact checking
Fact
live
checking
on
live on the
Holo Time.
show.
Because we don't just say crazy stuff without verifying if it may be true.
Yep. So here
What does it
is
say?
what's interesting, right? Well, here's the thing, right? Apple has the distribution rights to the Skydance stuff. Do you know who's the head of Skydance Animation, Joe?
No.
John Lasseter.
Wait, he's still around?
He's the lead of Skydance Animation.
Wow.
So that would bring
Bring him
Disney
back?
closer to John Lasseter. And
Wow.
John Lasseter's return, coming in and saving the company again.
Wow. Wow, dude. That's great.
Yep,
Wow.
yep. Um,
Oh,
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
although I will say Elemental was really good. I don't know if you saw what happened with it over this last like few weeks. It caught steam and added like an extra like 30
Yeah,
million or whatever to it like crazy.
yeah.
And it's on track that after this week, I think it was gonna pass Encanto as like the best performing film after
Really
from the pandemic.
good.
Yeah, it's like it silently has just coasted up. And I said it was a great movie,
Good for
and it
them.
really is. Honestly, I think people will enjoy it when they get to see it. Just unfortunately, you have so many blunders. That's the problem with Disney. They lost a lot of faith with
Yeah.
people where people are not going to take the risk.
Yep.
Like Ahsoka, I really hope it does well, but I would not be surprised if there's people who are just not going to be eager to watch it just because they've been burned by so many things before that they're like, I'll see it when I see it and not running out to give it the ratings because that's the big kicker, right? Like with Netflix and all these other things, like you have to watch them as quickly as possible and binge through it because then that sends a message of basically we want more of this, right? Um, But yeah, like I think you bring up an interesting point about the merger or sale or something like that. You definitely have my ear, and I could see that being a real possibility. Um, would it just though be like an automatic Apple? Wouldn't other companies want to like get their hands on it? I know Disney would be very careful, the board of who they really want to take it
Yeah,
on.
that's the
But wouldn't there
thing.
be
Yeah,
other suitors who would line up to the door and say, "Hey, we want to take you to the prom too"?
I don't know, man. The thing is that um, wasn't Steve Jobs a majority stakeholder, and he passed
Of Disney?
away. Yeah, of Disney because of Pixar, because of
There's
him
definitely
owning
Pixar
Pixar.
stocks. Yeah.
Yeah, so um, I mean, the rumor is that the uh, Steve Jobs' ex-wife is very good friends with Tim Apple, and
Nice, nice.
and so and Tim and it's there's no secret that Tim Cook and Bob are friends. So
Sure.
it's again going back to Apple's last presentation, like other than Kojima, Bob was the only one there, right? Outside of the Apple thing, and I think that's a clear message if you ask me, right? Like Bob's involved, and I think that what Apple is lacking, and I know that through licensing and through a lot of hurdles, I guess Apple could acquire rights and properties to put on their devices and to put on the display more specifically, but what if they didn't have these hurdles? What if they didn't have to deal with legal, and why they didn't have to deal with licensing fees and renewals and all that, and getting this content out on merge Apple TV Plus with Disney Plus, and you know owning all these properties, like it's nuts,
See,
dude.
see, you bring your theory makes 100% sense. Like you've laid out the details so well that I actually see this happening. It does not get me excited. And I think Apple's a good brand, like you mentioned, consistency and stuff like that. But when it comes to content creation, dude, Apple TV, aside from like Ted Lasso, has not been what it could
Yeah,
be compared. And I don't mean to
and
dunk on them.
that's why they need
I
them.
think they could be, but that's my concern is like, would they really make Disney's content better if they're still figuring out what they're
Well,
trying to
they're
do?
not gonna make it better because they still need to get rid of the people that are making not the content not good, right? So
Right.
that people need to go before the merger, right? That's why these people are leaving end of fiscal year
Well, I'm
2023.
saying even Apple themselves, like even Apple's content, like even their head people, like, do you really trust them to come in and make it better because they're still figuring out their content?
I don't know, man. I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying? Like, are you
there's
excited about Apple TV
I mean,
content?
true, they're still figuring it out, right? But at the same
They're
time,
new.
yeah, I mean, at the same time, when you have the merger of this magnitude, you will attract the right people,
Sure.
right?
I
So
mean, I think the parks get fixed with an Apple merger. Like that's fine. I think you mentioned like financially, they get a lot of things fixed, like ticket prices and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But content wise, I don't know, man. This is an
yeah,
interesting
and
theory
I
you
think
have.
and that's the thing.
You
Well, let's talk about the parks real quick, because I mean, we're probably running short on time, right? But um, like attendance been down.
Yeah,
Like
but no surprise,
it's been
dude.
out there. Like attendance been down, and like and we were at Disney Springs yesterday, dude,
Yeah, dude.
and it was empty.
Yeah, dude.
It's empty.
Yeah, for summer.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I haven't seen it like that in a very long time. Very, very, very long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So, um, it's concerning, right? And again, you're keeping people away because your costs are so exorbitant that it's like you can't. At some point, people are gonna stop going. Like people are gonna, you know, people that want to get an annual pass can't get an annual pass. Annual pass is still expensive.
There's a lot of people
Uh,
who've canceled.
you know, your Florida resident pass now is not great,
Nope.
and you know, your 4 day Florida resident is, it's not a great deal. I don't know. It's just that
Park experience. You paying more money for a less
for a less
experience. I'm
experience, yeah,
sorry.
dude,
Like you used to spend less money and get a better
100
experience
percent,
just 4 years ago.
100%.
I felt like that was prime Disney, dude. When I used to go back in like 2019, 20, like, dude, it was great going to the parks. You had Fast Pass and
Yeah,
oh my goodness, that there was so much hype about the future of what they were gonna do at the parks, and
yep.
then Rona came in
And then
and Bob too
Bob,
came
Bob,
in, and I don't
Bob
know.
too.
It's yeah, dude. And I honestly think they got greedy because they saw what happened with Rona, and people were really excited to get out of their homes and just to do stuff. And it was almost like the Super Bowl effect. What are you gonna do now that you win? I'm going to Disney World. That's like how people were when it's like the gates opened. They were
Hmm.
like, "What are you gonna
Yeah. Oh
do?"
yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to Disney World for vacation because I've been locked up in my place for
Yep.
however many years, whatever. You saw it in other countries, you saw from all whatever kind of stuff. That's long gone now. People
It's
have
settled
gotten their
down. Yeah.
sillies out,
Yep.
right? And people have seen what has come out of it. And now people, even the people who are the most Disney loyalists, even they're like, eh, uh, maybe I'm gonna take a year off. Maybe I'm gonna, and I'm like, this is not the kind of stuff they should be
Yeah.
seeing usually.
Yeah.
It didn't just happen overnight. This isn't like something just happened and all of a sudden like it's like this. No,
Yeah.
man. Long time coming. People plan trips to Disney World.
Yeah, man. But
You know what I'm saying?
it's a, when you think about it, right? It's like you're think think about how atrocious of a deal Genie Plus is, right? So
Yeah.
basically, Genie Plus is not even, you get to pay extra to skip the lines. It's like you pay extra to have the opportunity to be able to sign up to potentially skip a line
So
one at a
sad.
time, one at a time. What the heck, dude? And then you get the individual ones, which are more of a slap in the face than Genie Plus. Uh, well, man,
And people, and it always messes up the line because you'll be like in a short
yeah,
line for something, and then all the
yeah.
Genie Plus people start showing up all of a sudden. Like, and then it just backs up the wait lines. Happened to me plenty times, Ratatouille and whatever. I don't know, man.
OG Fast Pass was the best. You have to be there, go to the
Yep,
ride, and get your ticket and come back.
yep. And then
So
they had the little kiosks
you
all
don't, yeah,
around. You
like you don't have to
tap
have tickets
in.
anymore, right? You can just scan your phone, scan your app, get your thing, right?
Yeah.
But be there, right? Make an effort. No, man. It's like at least Universal, you pay double the price and you get to do
Yes.
whatever you want.
Yeah, that's it.
But here, no, man. You pay a third of the price
And
to
people
be.
we know with Universal have been making it clear they're doing just fine. Did
Oh
you see
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
numbers that came out recently for
yeah,
them?
yeah.
I mean, this rivaling Disney in
And
many regards.
Hollywood, the Hollywood Park, which has been in the dumpster for a
Yeah,
long
dude.
time, dude, it's getting
Universal's
close
doing
to.
just fine.
Yeah, it's getting close. So, yeah, dude, it's and then we got, Epic Universe is coming, dude.
Oh,
And
and it's gonna be epic. We
it's
know
gonna
it.
be epic. And then there's more stuff. Like we know that, we got the Zelda rumors for Islands of Adventure, and we got the Pokemon Center rumors for Studios. Like there's so many things that are very very attractive, and meanwhile these guys are fumbling, dude. It's like I don't know, man. I am really concerned. I am really really concerned as someone that loves the brand, that grew up with the brand, and that Disney made a huge impact in my life, undeniable, right?
Yeah.
And then they got Marvel, that's fine. Then they got Star Wars, and it's like, man, it's like everything I love in one place.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if Ahsoka's gonna be good. I don't know. I mean, every time I go to the parks, I'm ready to expect the worst.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And and that's sad. I'm actually like kind of tearing up right now talking about it
It's
because
sad.
it's sad. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting, and you know, I've been saying this for since when, like 2018, Joe.
Oh yeah, you've
That
been
Disney
calling it.
needs to get people in there. Like I think since probably when we first started doing the video version of the podcast, it's like um they need to have people that care. Like why are you hiring these people? May the force be may the force be with you. That don't know and don't care.
Yeah.
And and it's mind boggling, dude. Mind boggling because it's it's simple, right? It's simple, right? And I don't want to point fingers. I don't want to go off course, but you know, it's unfortunate. I really do hope that they can turn it around. If they, again, if they offload and they follow their own path and they slim down the company and they are Parks and Studios and ABC, what they used to be back in the early '90s, uh, yeah, they're gonna be okay. But they're gonna get bought out. It's one of those two options. Option one, they're gonna get bought out. Option three, they slim down and they keep operating and they keep
Kind of delay it then at that point, right? It'd be like almost like delaying the inevitable with that choice,
yeah
which I could see them doing that.
yeah. I mean, you slim down and then or maybe slim down and get acquired. A combination of both, right?
Could be.
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true.
At this point, right? It's like I don't know. I don't know. But real quick before we go, Joel, there were some other announcements about Star Wars and Marvel. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically in the the conversations today, and Iger was doing his press junket on CNBC. And he talked about a number of things and specifically was saying, look, we know that the quality of Marvel and Star Wars content, he was talking more Marvel, but he did also talk about Star Wars, saying has digressed. And he specifically pointed to the television stuff. And he's like, they weren't doing anything major before on television. Now you put in the television stuff. And the moment the television stuff came in, it almost like diluted the quality of your cinematic universe as a whole between film and that. And I mean, hit the nail on the coffin. Said exactly what we have been preaching for a long time. The
Yeah.
moment that the Disney Plus stuff came in, it's like you could say, "Oh, it's after Endgame." No, man, Endgame set that thing up for a home run. They set everything up to be just candied, easily win going forward. And I don't want to say everything on Disney Plus has been a disaster, but rumors have been said. Like you look at what happened, like with Blade and these other things, where even Mahershala Ali basically said like Feige needs to be involved, or else I'm walking like it's being stretched too thin, doing too much at one time, and it became obvious it was more about, hey, how can we get people to just like this enough to give us money? A cash grab is what people would accuse it of,
Yeah.
than really just trying to say make good content. So he is saying that they will be looking to slow down production on Marvel and Star Wars content going forward for quality over quantity, and that is what everyone's been preaching. Look, I love my Star Wars stuff, but if you told me I have to wait 3, 4 years, but it's going to be something really worth it, I'll wait. I'll wait. Don't. Yes. Do I get? I've got excited. Oh, I get 3 Marvel movies a year. I'm excited, but then that's starting to wear off because now I'm not excited about the next project the way I should
Yeah.
be. I should be super excited about the Marvels, and now I'm just like optimistic it will be a good time. Not like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's concerning. Um, hopefully they can wrangle back. And again, it's like who let the She-Hulk people in? It's like
I
who
know.
let them in? And and the Lucasfilm is a whole different kind of worms, right? But it's a more complicated kind of worms than Marvel, right? As Marvel is like who let them in. Star Wars is a little bit it's more politics and
Yeah.
more high level stuff
Yeah, for sure.
happening that needs to be addressed. But you know that I'm hoping for the best, right? Um, but this bodes like something big is gonna happen. And again, my prediction is like we'll know for sure within the next 6 to 8 months, and then I can see this something being like fiscal year 2025, so the end of 2024, October 2024, and then Bob will be there for another year and a half to oversee the transition and and move on. So and yeah, man, that's we'll have to wait and see, but it's gonna be interesting.